Hey, what's up you guys? No. Welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm Fat Sajak, and I enjoy reading for 5 minutes at a time, watching the same movies over and over, and long romantic walks to the fridge. Sorry, wrong site. I want you to know right off the bat that I straight up had stars for this. I didn't pay for it. Anyway, happy Eclipse Day to all that celebrate. I don't think it'll get out on this day, but if it does, wow, I too love miracles. Today, we're paying a visit to an old, dirty, windblown friend. And by old, dirty, windblown friend, I mean your most insufferable acquaintance that we're mildly polite to when they're around, but, like, you know you're gonna cut the night short. Because this guy never shuts up. And the only thing he talks about is like really immature, disgusting things, and he just keeps yelling me anytime you say anything, and it's like you're in your 30s and you've just kind of had enough. Plus he seems like he pisses in bottles. Today we're visiting Shane Dawson for another installment of his absolutely asinine, completely overblown conspiracy theories. I know it's been a minute since he put this video out. You're probably like, what? He did another one? I'm like, no, I just didn't cover this yet because life's been pure turmoil. Speaking of which, if you haven't subscribed already, now would be the time because I have kids to feed. So make sure as you're putting on your tinfoil hat that you're subscribed, you like the video, leave me a comment that says really anything, just even if it's just a horrible thing to say to somebody. Don't do that. I don't need that right now. Get it together, me. Get it together, you. Also, I'm sorry for the chaos that is my hair. I'm going to be coloring it this week. I have a plan. Don't get in my way. So Shane Dawson, reigning king of boring conspiracy theories, which are really just things that everybody already knew about, but he's just discovering for the first time and therefore thinks it's some sort of underhanded conspiracy. Like the time he discovered the store Aldi and how they sell food for cheaper, or how bread comes from a factory. Have you never watched an episode of Mr. Rogers? Like, it's not... There are a lot of conspiracies to be had in this day and age, and unfortunately every single one that Shane picks are not any worth your time. He started, when he puts up conspiracy videos, his new formula is to put up a long form conspiracy video with several conspiracies inside. I will give him the credit where credit is due that he does now do them in sections instead of like a completely non-linear timeline that used to make it impossible to follow which conspiracy we were on and what was actually fucking happening. So now he'll put that big conspiracy video up on his main channel, and then he'll put like a secondary loser conspiracy theory on his second channel. Also at this point, his entire podcast is conspiracy theories. And my conspiracy theory is that there are not enough conspiracy theories to warrant this many videos about conspiracy theories. Take a shot every time I say conspiracy theories and you're already dead. So we're covering all the theories on his main channel video and his second channel video. I can't breathe. Okay, I'm better. We're not gonna obviously cover the podcast. There's already way too many episodes and I don't have the brain cells to lose at this point. But we're gonna do this a little more recap style this time because I care about you. And as much as I love to do these videos reactionary style, this will limit the amount of time you have to stare at Shane's like unkempt face and wind tunnel hair. And you deserve only good things. So the opening conspiracy is about Stanley Cups, because of course it is, aka the thing that Shane obsesses over and probably jerks off into. Because if there's one thing that Shane Dawson loves, it's a bandwagon he can jump on with a bunch of people 2 decades younger than him.
Why are you so obsessed with these cups?
So everyone in school basically has them.
And all this hysteria over a cup.
I got a Stanley!
I never realized how many of these you had. Oh, hey Chris.
Hi.
Sorry. You caught me right in the middle of my morning worship.
We're also meeting Spencer, Shane's like, I don't know, like producer or whatever.
This is Spencer.
That's it.
So he's our producer and also safety coordinator.
We got a fire extinguisher right next to the lighter fluid.
He looks young enough that he was likely pulled straight out of James Charles' DMs, but so far isn't particularly annoying or anything, which I appreciate. Shane regales us with the tale of the person who went viral on TikTok for being involved in a car fire, and basically the only thing that remained inside the car was a Stanley Cup. I'm sure you've seen the TikTok. I'm sure you've seen Shane's video. When this happened, the big boss at Stanley was like, hey, we never do this and we're not going to do this again, but we want to replace your car because it went viral with the Stanley Cup and blah, blah, blah. So to test this theory, does Shane start a car on fire in the same manner in which the viral video's car was set ablaze with the same exact Stanley Cup inside? No, of course not. He just directly torches a Stanley Cup, a completely different Stanley Cup, in a bonfire, because that's the same.
Just right in the middle, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, got it in there. Ooh, that's hot. Oh my god, okay, it's already blackening on this side.
Is it? Didn't it look perfect in the video?
Literally perfect.
It's like when he said, oh, you can't get craft singles, they don't melt, and then they're like torching, or at least I don't remember if they did it or they were showing B-roll of someone else doing it. Probably B-roll of someone else doing it, if we're being honest, because the former requires actual effort on their part. But it's just like a video of someone like trying to set a craft single on fire from the corner. That's not how you melt cheese. It's how you try to set it on fire. There's a difference. Direct versus indirect heat. You feel me? And I feel like this is kind of the same thing. Also, fires have like that freak thing about them where like they will destroy a bunch of fucking shit and then leave the one thing in the middle absolutely untouched and then go around it and torch everything else on the other side. So it's like, it's a hard theory to test in practicality, but they could have gotten a little bit closer in execution, because just directly setting fire to something is going to burn it. That's how fire works. So his theory in all of this was that this was a viral marketing campaign brought about by some guy that does TikTok marketing for Stanley. And even if that is true, so what? So what? So what? Shane Dawson discovers coupons, discount grocery stores, discount makeup, and now basic marketing. Even though the experiment itself, you can't even call it an experiment. They had a fucking bonfire and threw a $170 Stanley in it. Even though that doesn't necessarily reflect the original circumstances, happenstance could very easily prevent a paper cup from starting on fire within a vehicle.
Okay, yeah.
I'm also looking at the top, because the top in the video, it was like perfect, wasn't burnt. Then, oh my god! Oh my god, the straw's melting.
Oh, that fast?
It's only been in there for 2 seconds.
No way. No way!
Also, to put this into perspective, these are adults that are surprised that flammable thing is flammable.
Oh.
Whoa.
Paint's burning off.
Oh, it is like really melting. Wow, it's really fucking melting. Oh my god! Oh my god! The handle! God.
No way!
Marketing for third graders, rich guy. So the next theory is about cars and car technology and how it's like stealing our genetic information or whatever. I don't know, I was kind of falling asleep during this one, I gotta be honest.
They found some pretty scary things, like some car companies can actually collect your medical information, your genetic information. They know your driving habits, how fast you drive, whether you look sleepy while you're driving, where you drive to the most often, what songs you listen to the most. But all of that is, you know, obvious, right? Well, then they found this privacy policy for Nissan. Let's just give it a read, shall we? They say they collect sensitive personal information, including driver's license number, national or state identification number, citizenship status, immigration status, race, national origin, religious or philosophical beliefs, sexual orientation, sexual activity. What?
Does make the finger prick and throat swab to start my vehicle seem a little more suspicious. Just total the car and then get yourself a nice Stanley Cup.
No way!
But let's go back to cars for a second. What car company do you think has the worst privacy policy in the whole world? Tesla, baby.
Tesla has assured its customers that privacy is enormously important to the company.
Teslas, in common with many cars, have cameras all over them. They are meant to be private, of course, and that appears not to have been the case, at least in the past.
Has found that employees of Tesla privately shared sometimes highly invasive videos and images recorded by the car's cameras.
Among the videos shared were images of a man approaching his car naked.
That's according to interviews with 9 former employees.
So you're saying that the car company owned and operated by Elon Musk isn't squeaky clean and ethical? I'm stunned.
And Tesla was created by the same guy that now wants to put a chip inside of your brain.
Imagine the joy of connecting with your loved ones, browsing the web, or even playing games using only your thoughts.
If I had a chip in my brain, I'd be begging Siri to fucking euthanize me. Next, we're wandering into the magical world of Sephora kids.
Viral clips have been going around of kids going in Sephora making a big mess.
I covered this in an episode of The Dump recently where kids were using up the samples to do blackface in the middle of a Sephora. You know, every kid's favorite pastime, for fuck's sake. Evidently, regular, like, non-racist kids are just using up all the samples and trashing the place. Like, respectable assholes.
It would seem packs of preteens are flocking to Sephora and using all the sample.
Let me break it down. 10-year-olds on TikTok who think they need a full skincare routine before they're even old enough to have a pimple.
All she wants for the holidays is, well, not toys, but skincare products.
All I wanted this year was skincare and makeup.
I had one dad tell me that he's spending $1,000 a month on his daughter's skincare.
$1,000 a month for skincare? Be so for fucking real. If you're spending $1,000, please let me be the one to tell you this. If you're spending $1,000 a month on skincare, it's doing nothing for you and you're spending way too much money. I don't know, man. I blame people like Jeffree Star and like James Charles and Shane Dawson for the uptick in interest in this shit. High-end makeup, at least.
But of course they're gonna want to be just like the adults they're watching.
Many are seemingly mirroring the get ready with me videos they see online.
Brinley Borealis Kardashian Jenner Jr. the third, I'm gonna need you to step away from the skincare and go play at the park like a regular ass kid, okay? Thanks so much.
Gen Z has been asking a lot lately. Why is Gen Z aging so fast?
Gen Z is aging so fast because we've normalized filler in young faces. Like, as you age or let them dissolve after prolonged use, like, your face is going to essentially deflate. You know, it's like when you have a big weight loss after being really heavy for a long period of time and you start to have like sagging skin and things like that. It's because you're literally deflating. There are so many kids, yeah, I mean, I call them kids because I'm almost 40, but like there's so many young people who are getting things like filler and Botox and shit like that, and it's so bad for you. Like, you can't just, I mean, do whatever you want. Do whatever makes you feel good, what makes you feel happy, whatever. I'm not going to judge you unless you start to look like Farrah Abraham. Like, that's where I draw the line. You don't need it. Just have a face. Like, it, not to be like a huge pain in the ass millennial, but like, Back in my day, we all looked fucking different from each other. We didn't all look like one singular plastic fuck doll wearing too much makeup. Also, have childhoods. What? This is what I hate. And I know I sound old when I say this, okay? I can hear it coming out of my mouth. But like, this is what I hate about like y'all being raised on social media is this. I mean, we had unrealistic expectations still too. You know, it's not that we didn't. But we didn't have it at our fingertips all the time. We saw it in commercials, we saw it in magazines, movies, and like thin was in when I was a kid. Like the thinner, the more sickly you looked, like the more popular you were. And, you know, I just feel like it's so sad that the world that these younger generations, particularly Gen Z, and my younger millennials, I guess, grew up in were so full of really loud judgment. When I was 12, I still dressed like I was 12. I still dressed like a kid. I still did kid things. I feel like social media has given young people this push into having to seem like an adult as a child, and it's disturbing to me. It makes me sad. It's also why my kids are not gonna have social media until they're like at least 17. All right, I'm sorry, that was a long rant.
Well, a new study came out about the effects of blue lights. That's a light that comes off of your phone, your TV, your laptop, your iPad, pretty much every device in your house. Well, one of the main side effects of blue light exposure is accelerated aging.
Because, you know, they trying to raise the retirement age and y'all already look retired.
That's right. Staring at your screen for too many hours can cause wrinkles, sagging skin, age spots, hyperpigmentation, thinner or weaker skin.
Blaming the aging on blue light is kind of weird because, like, even as an elder millennial, I spent a lot of time in front of the television. I played a lot of video games. I had a Game Boy. By the time I was like 16, 17, I had a computer. I don't know.
Have you heard of tech neck?
Yeah, tech neck.
Tech neck is when you stare down at your phone too much and it causes intense wrinkles on your neck. These were wrinkles that usually people didn't get until they were like 50. Now you have people in their 20s who are aging faster, harder. And the question is it gonna get worse? Well, I wanna introduce you to somebody special. I'd like you to meet Mindy. Mindy is what we are going to evolve into because of our addiction to technology. Hunchbacked, tech claw, 90-degree elbow.
So is Mindy single or?
Tech neck, a thicker skull with a smaller brain. And the scariest, a second fucking eyelid. Why a second eyelid? Because as we evolve and as our brains and our bodies realize how harmful blue lights from our phones are, our body will evolve to create a second fucking eyelid to block the blue light.
Second eyelid? Dope. We can sleep anywhere. I'm very tired. Mostly I'm just tired of these half-assed conspiracies.
And why will human skulls be thicker? Because of the potential damage of the radiation that is coming off of our phones.
Radiation from phones? Well, see, this is actually why millennials look so young. You know, we might be cringy, but we all have fucking phone anxiety. We don't answer that shit.
The shit that we are eating is getting crazy. I'm not talking about triple Big Macs. I'm talking about the fact that scientists have discovered that 90% of our food has plastic in it. Cancer-causing microplastics.
Microplastics make their way into our bodies through food and water.
And what are the potential side effects of this? Oh, just birth defects, cancer, diabetes, infertility, neurodevelopmental disorders, and so much more. I mean, in previous videos, we've talked about how crazy the food world is. You know how on cheese slices, it doesn't actually say cheese, it says cheese product.
Prepared cheese products.
That's because that ain't cheese. Oh, and it doesn't melt, no matter how hard you try.
Listen to that. You hear that?
From a young age, they want us to be eating garbage that's filled with chemicals and trash.
For the first time ever earlier this year, microplastics were found inside human organs here in the US.
It sounds like Shane's on the brink of something. Coupons, discount grocery stores, discount makeup, third grade marketing, and discovering we're meant to be kept sick to fuel big pharma.
I I mean, when you think about it, doesn't it kind of make sense? Not only is Gen Z supposedly aging faster, but has anybody else noticed how much of Gen Z has ADHD?
The question is, why do all Gen Zers have ADHD?
Over the past 10 years, we have witnessed the rate of children diagnosed with ADHD has increased by over 42%.
Well, what is ADHD? Oh yeah, a neurodevelopmental disorder. Wait a minute, isn't that a side effect of eating fucking plastic? Shut the fuck up! And that brings us to an experiment that I did, which involves a food theory that is truly insane. Okay, so it is 11:34, so I'm about to test a theory that I cannot believe is real.
Christy Watson's kids love ice cream. You've got to see what she found in her backyard recently.
If this works, it's terrifying. I'm gonna put an ice cream sandwich on this plate, and I'm gonna leave it in my pantry overnight.
Didn't we already do the non-melting ice cream thing? Like 4 years ago?
Let's see how it looks.
Walmart's ingredient list includes corn syrup, guar gum, and cellulose gum.
Should you be concerned about giving gums to your kids? Very big gummy.
We're talking about FDA-approved additives. In the world of processed foods, these are common ingredients.
Christy misses old-fashioned ice cream that melts.
It does not look like milk.
Well, tough shit, Christy. Eat your unmeltable chemicals and shut the hell. Also, the differentiation between ice cream and dessert products is intentional. Like the way cheese and cheese product, that's a purposeful differentiation.
Very big gummy.
Buckle up, bitches, because we're heading to the most pointless and annoying theory yet. Now we're at the part of the show where Shane's flat earther brother Jared is gonna say some words that when put together almost make sense, but not quite.
Something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. But it's even too confusing for me to understand. Shut the fuck up! And it is very, very scary, and it's walking a line of like, am I gonna get killed for talking about this?
I will say, when I was doing research about this, there was moments where I felt like, I don't know if I want to do this. You know, it's like, this is feeling way too real. You know, what it has to do with, ultimately, is a fake alien invasion taking place. If anything, this is a warning, you know?
Okay, a warning of what though? Like what am I supposed to be afraid of?
Well, an alien invasion. They want you to be afraid of an alien invasion to manipulate us into believing that a fake alien invasion is happening, to unite us all so they can basically just take control over the planet.
So are we faking an invasion so there can be an invasion? Is that what we're going with here, or?
Pretty light stuff, right?
Yeah, okay.
So and to kind of break it down so we understand here, Project Bluebeam was originally introduced by a gentleman named Serge Monsad in 1994. And he broke down how they were going to achieve this fake alien invasion into several steps. So in order to achieve this and make it feel real to the public, the first phase is going to be to unearth some kind of documents that change our perception of the reality that we live in.
Okay.
Pretty much confusing us and opening our minds to a possibility of what could be. The second phase is to basically have us all be able to imagine what this would look like, and the best way to do that is through movies and predictive programming.
So what is predictive programming? The subtle form of psychological conditioning provided by the media.
This is crazy.
The third step is they will actually project holographic images into the sky to actually make us see the alien invasion.
Hell yeah, I've been waiting on my Tupac encore. Is Michael Jackson gonna sing the song from Free Willy? Because I'm feeling extra nostalgic today.
And then the fourth step is to basically, at that point, we're all united, and then they're gonna have us go into underground bunkers, they're gonna put us into submarines, and the few that are lucky enough are gonna survive this end of the world apocalypse.
Two brothers, one brain cell, holograms. And then it just kind of trails off into the apocalypse here. Who is they, Jared? Who is they? Who is they? God, that was arduous. Now let's go back to the absolutely asinine, okay? We're gonna take a trip over to the second channel, where the last two conspiracy theories reside. The first of which is about Olive Garden, and you cannot convince me that this was not an excuse for all these assholes to go to Olive Garden.
The theory I have about Olive Garden I have had for years, and I've never been allowed to test it because Ryland is the biggest Olive Garden fan of all time, and every time I bring it up around him, he gets mad at me.
So, again, this one's about Olive Garden. You know it, you love it, when you're there, you're there. And family. Unless, probably because you hate your regular family. Except according to Shane, you're getting recycled breadsticks. Okay? Because almost getting sued by Charles Entertainment Cheese was not quite enough of a thrill for Shane Dawson. Now we're fucking with Olive Garden. And I don't know if you've ever fought with a knockoff Italian, but my friend Nayli, she's spicy. Now, Shane's insistence that Olive Garden might kinda, sorta, possibly recycle breadsticks from tables that have left and then give them to other tables is based on literally nothing except his inability to conceptualize the fact that this is America and we produce more food for gluttonous experiences than anyone else ever. So their plan was everyone goes in individually, orders food, which isn't at all suspicious because I know at the dinner time rush, there's nothing weird about like 7 different people coming in and sitting alone and ordering a meal, especially when a couple of them could have gone together. Anyway, so after Shane, Ryland, Jared's wife Sandy, Chris, and Spencer, and Lizzie all go in and suspiciously ruin, molest, manhandle, and waste something to the tune of like 200 fucking breadsticks, we come to find zero legitimacy to this theory. They're literally like writing on breadsticks to see if they get them at another table. First of all, the way they experimented with this is so stupid. It's just so dumb. The content around testing this theory wasn't even entertaining enough to have kept this footage. Like, he could have scrapped this entire thing and that probably would have been better. They could have thrown the SD card that was on into a river and it wouldn't have mattered in the slightest. It actually just kind of ends up being an ad for Olive Garden. Seriously, this was just an excuse for them to eat Olive Garden and you can't convince me otherwise.
They're not marked, damn it!
But they are delicious if you're looking for a good snack.
We have over 100 breadsticks to figure out
what are we gonna do with all these breadsticks?
Like, literally donating them never crossed your mind? 100 plus breadsticks and not once did donating them to people who might need food, homeless shelters. This didn't come across the old noggin, or shame on you for wasting and defacing beautiful baskets of carbohydrates, you son of a bitch. The last theory of the night belongs to Kylie Jenner. Shane alleges that Kylie's Kai sweatsuits are literally cheaply bought prison wear because they don't have pockets or strings in the hoodie part. Pockets in the pants, strings in the hoodie part. And he bought one for Ryland for Christmas, and Ryland said it wasn't very comfortable either.
So then I was like, oh my god, is this literally a prison sweatsuit?
I am pretty sure the prisoners wear these color sweatpants.
Okay, so then I was like, well, let me look. So I Googled, where do prisons... This is what I do when the babies are asleep. Where do prisons get their sweatsuits? So it took me to a website called bulkapparel.com. And I went to bulkapparel.com and tell me these aren't the fucking Kylie sweatpants.
For how much?
So then,
Bucks for $12?
Well, so then I was like, oh my god, to prove the point, I need to buy these sweatpants and compare them, right?
Am I getting a sweatsuit?
But no, because the minimum order was 5,000 units.
Now, I was generally kind of intrigued by this idea because at upwards of like $60 a pop, they should at the very least be comfortable. But because you'd have to buy these things in bulk on these websites that sell prison gear, like prison clothes, Shane didn't bother. He's just going to say the theory and hopefully that'll satiate the side of his audience who doesn't bother using their critical thinking skills. And I know what you're saying, sajak is a fuck ton of money. Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's be honest, if it were like a semi-private flight to Los Angeles or Colorado, he would have done it. Right? If it was buying another herd of fucking alpacas, he would have done it. If he was remodeling a part of his home that doesn't really matter, he would have done it. If it was to buy a set of Burberry clothes that his children will grow out of in 7 seconds, he would have done it. He's just lazy, is what it is. He feels no need to actually follow through on these theories anymore, because his audience will just accept it for what it is and eat it the fuck up. But unfortunately, what it is that they're eating the fuck up is really lazy content creation.
Very big gummy.
Simple as that. And that is that. I'm tired. That wore me out. Alright, well, that's all for this video. I'm sorry it's been a minute. You're getting a bunch of new content soon because I'm here, you're here, Olive Garden. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, don't you have homework to do? Stay tuned for the outtakes if there are any, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Very big gummy.
Now, I covered this in an episode of The Dump recently. The Dump! Who's they? Who's we? Denver Airport has a haunted horsey.